Buea, regional capital of the southwest region of Cameroon. This is the seat of the capital of former German Cameroon. It currently holds some of the most historic artifacts that define the history and culture of the country, amongst them the historic reunification monument set up a few years ago in celebration of the country's 50 years of reunification. Buea is capital of one of the two Anglophone regions of Cameroon. Here, the people practice the common law system of justice, and their educational system is designed to reflect the Anglo-Saxon system of education. The application and practice, however, of the educational and legal system in these two regions has often been criticized for being cosmetic, unsatisfactory, and adulterated with French systems and practices, a situation which in the past has led to civilian uprisings, armed protests, and gross violations of human rights and the rights of women. In October 2016, after several petitions to the government, common law lawyers in the country staged a protest in Buea and Bamenda in objection to what they termed government attempts to destroy the common law system of justice.
Last year, 9th of May, common law lawyers, close to 700, met in Bamenda to address the issues that affects us as lawyers of the common law. We wrote a memo which was handed over to almost all the institutions of this country. I was part of the team. This is acknowledgement of receipt from the Senate, the Bar Council, the Minister of Justice who we gave to the Bar, the National Assembly, the US Embassy, the Canadian Embassy, the Nigerian High Commissioner, for example. So we handed these documents to the Prime Ministry. February this year, we met in Buea again. We not had any response. Nobody even send us a note that, okay, we are trying to study the problem and we will find a solution. 13th of February, we met in Buea. We had a Buea declaration which reiterated what we had decided in Bamenda. Okay? Nothing happened. Nobody spoke anything. Then, 6th of October, we met in Bamenda, where we came out with a resolution and we decided that we are going on strike. In the preamble of our resolution, we talked about the nonchalance of the government in addressing the issues that we raised in the 9th May memorandum in Bamenda. For example, the fact that the OHADA, we don't have an English version, the CIMA code, and most of the laws which have been enforced since 1972. But we said that we expect the head of state to do the following two things. One, to create an ad hoc commission to try to address the issues that we had raised in our Bamenda memo. And secondly, to redeploy civil law trained magistrates to civil law jurisdiction and common law trained magistrates to common law jurisdiction. Those are the
A military response from the government left several women and girls wounded and hospitalized. That same October 2016, teachers in the two regions of the country, under the umbrella of the Cameroon Teachers Trade Union (CATU), the Syndicate of University Lecturers, known by its French acronym SINES, and other teacher trade unions had sent a notice to parents and the government announcing a planned strike that was to begin in November 2016. The move, they said, was equally in objection to plans by the government to wipe off the Anglo-Saxon system of education.
For over 50 years, Anglophone children have not been able to have a headway in Cameroon in those disciplines that will bring about development, science and technology, because the government had refused to train teachers for our schools.
Rights activists and organizations in the country, both national and international, criticized the government for what they called high-handedness in addressing the situation and for the gross violations that women encountered as a result of the crisis. Most of the survivors we met declined being interviewed for this report. Those who agreed to be interviewed did so on conditions of anonymity.
Alright, so on that day actually there was a protest. We were supposed to start as CS on that day, but since there was a protest, nothing could happen, so I was home. After that, we saw police officers entering us inside. And I was inside my house But all of a sudden, we saw them taking some students, so I was like trying to go through my room to see what was happening. So I saw them now beating some people, bringing them towards this direction. Also, some of my friends, were three of us, were really scared. We closed the door, went and hid ourselves inside the toilet.
You had to hide inside the toilet?
Yes, because we were really scared from what we were seeing. We were actually scared, and then we heard them coming up. So we went and closed the door. When we entered inside the toilet, they came. They were knocking that we should open. Nobody was opening. They had to break the door. Yes, they had to break the door. Entered. When they entered, they noticed we were inside the toilet. They asked us to come out, otherwise we'll still break that door. Immediately we came out, they started beating us, they asked for our phones. They claimed we were taking videos and pictures, all those stuff. We gave them our phones, we said nothing was inside. They never even bothered checking, they just took the phones, they kept it for their own personal purpose. They took us downstairs. As we were leaving, they were beating us till we reached downstairs, they were still beating us. They took us. We walked around, they were catching some people, took us to movie inside the campus. They asked us to lie down, they started beating us again. They said that we are protesting, that do we think this is America, that we have the right to do anything that we want, that we can just get up, protest, that some of us we even had to shoot them stones.
But Cameroon is not America, you can't protest the way you want to here in Cameroon.
We don't have that right to do anything that we want. Then some other troops came again, asked us to rule ourselves inside more, because it was like we fell, or I don't know whether there was somewhere that it was more. Yes, asked us to rule ourselves inside. If you plaited something that you held your hair, you remove it, you rub your hair inside the mud. They even had a shoe that they were even using to carry water to throw on our heads. After they took us up. Which was in the place up around support that we stayed there for some time. They asked us to give our IDs. All I never had, and they took us from the house. They stayed between us today.
Okay, you left the house without yes. Because they actually took you along?
There was no way to even take anything. We never even properly dressed. They just took us. And then after that, they took us to the so the brigade. We stayed there for like 3 days. They refused that they were not going to bring us.
You were detained in Limbe?
Yes, at the brigade Sonara. On the 3rd day now, because that thing happened on the Monday, Wednesday, they took us again, brought us back to Boya, took us at the court. But there were some lawyers that already intervened for.
Okay, lawyers actually came to intervene on your behalf.
Yes.
Here in Buea, we met with a female lawyer, human rights advocate, and gender activist. Just like other common law practitioners, she has not been to the courts for the past 10 months. She now lives in perpetual fear of the unknown, especially following the arrest of the president of FAGLA, a body that has been outlawed by the government. Months after the strike action, she still recalls vividly the wounds inflicted on her by government forces while they were expressing their discontent. At her request, we have chosen to withhold her identity, and for purposes of this report, we will simply refer to her as Linda.
I came to the office that morning, and I got to the office. 2 of my colleagues, myself, another senior female colleague, and a male colleague. 3 of us. We decided we'd go in one car. So we got to Buea. Before we got to the court,
you were traveling from Bamenda?
We're traveling from Buea, from around Sopo, and going up to the court. It's like
okay, the courts here in Buea.
The courts here in Buea. I wasn't part of the Bamenda protest. I didn't go to Bamenda, but I hear they had tear gas, and all of that. But I was part of I had to be part of the Buea protest. So I'm going up to court. We got somewhere midway to court, between court and our office, and we saw other colleagues who were coming down. So we stopped, and they told us they had been refused access into court. Then before I realized, I saw a truckload of army gendarmes. They came down, like 3 truckloads of gendarmes. They were armed. They had guns, they had batons, and all of that. So to me, the whole of Buea that day was gendarme infested. So
militarized.
Very militarized. So I just knew probably they are doing their normal patrol and things like that. But probably since we're wearing black, and I had my weekend gown, we had our weekend gowns. I had my weekend gown even in a plastic, in a nylon paper, not in the usual weekend gown style. They stopped. Then a legion of them fell on us, and they started whipping with the batons, and they said we should cross. Then I'm like, you can't expect me to cross. Vehicles are coming. They tried to even push us into the road. So I shifted. So my other colleagues now, they ran. But I could not run. Since they were all over the place, they tried to pull my back. So when they tried to pull my back, that's when I said, I was shouting, you are trying to loot. You've taken my weekend now. What do you want again from? What do you want again from me? You've taken my weekend now. What do you want from me? Then when they realized that I was really very helpless and they had really gotten me thoroughly beaten.
You were actually beaten?
Very beaten. Very. I had a swollen leg like for 4 weeks, like 1 month, and had to go press it every day and all of that. So when they realized that, they left. I held since I had a small bag, I held it very close to me. And somebody in the car gave a command that they should go, which I presume should be their boss. So they went back into their trucks. We were standing behind the trucks. They got back into the trucks and they went away. So my colleague on trying to escape, I don't know if it's a gun or a bullet or whatsoever, because I think they actually shot the gun. But since I was panic stricken, I could really not, but I heard the sound, the population was coming out and all of that. But my colleague left with a deep wound, because after that, we had to try to clean up the wound and put a plaster on it. So I don't know if the baton, if it's thrown around or stick around, but she was seriously wounded.
To have a proper understanding of the crisis and the circumstances surrounding reports of violence against women in Cameroon, you need a basic knowledge of the country's history. Cameroon is one of the few countries in Africa that has passed through more than one colonial master. It was colonized by Germany in 1884, following the signing of what has come to be referred to as the Germano-Douala Treaty. In 1914, following German loss to the Allied powers at the First World War, the country was placed under British and French administration under the mandate of the League of Nations. Britain got what is today known as the Northwest and Southwest regions and part of the territory that later voted to join Nigeria, while France administered the other part of the country, which today constitutes 8 of the country's 10 regions. With the dissolution of the League of Nations after the Second World War, the country was again partitioned and placed under Britain and France, this time under the UN supervision as trust territories. The partition and colonial administration of these Central African countries left long-lasting scars on the nation, one of which has come to be known today as the Anglophone problem. In October 1961, the two Cameroons were reunited in a conference that held in Fumban, West region of Cameroon, to create what was then referred to as the Federal Republic of Cameroon. The name was later changed through a referendum to the United Republic of Cameroon and then to the Republic of Cameroon. 60 years down the lane, the country, Cameroon, has survived a series of civilian uprisings and takeover attempts. In 2008, an increase in the price of fuel sparked a nationwide uproar that almost resulted in a failed state in the country. The ongoing crisis in the country is the latest in a series of actions against the marginalization of Anglophones in Cameroon. The protest started with a sit-in strike action by teachers of Anglo-Saxon system of education and common law practitioners. This civil action by these trade unions later escalated into more generalized calls for cessation or a return to the federal system of government after a citizen journalist and radio animator was reported to have moved on the streets of Bamenda with a coffin. His action rallied several youths in the region into a mass protest on the streets in Anglophone Cameroon, and a response from government forces of law and order left 4 people dead and gross violations on the rights of women. Educational institutions in the northwest and southwest regions were shut down for close to 10 months, and protest attempts by students were responded to with high-handedness and brutal interventions by forces of law and order.
On that day I was in the stay at Lord Jefferson. So when the strike started, it was on Monday morning. We had CA on that day. We were supposed to have CA on that day. So I left my house to my friend's place to get a bath because in my school there wasn't water and money. So I was trying to get a bath because I heard there was strike and students were standing around the administrative block. So when I rushed to get a bath, I saw people throwing stones. The military was already there. They were trying to push students away. They tried their best to push students away. The students were resistant. They wanted the vice chancellor then to listen to them. So I really don't know what happened because when I came here, I saw a lot of crowd, but I wasn't in the crowd.
You were not on campus?
No, I wasn't on campus. I had my CA on Wednesday, so I didn't go to campus that day. So when I came here, I saw a lot of crowd, but I entered inside. I was trying to get the bag with my friends and her sister. The crowd was around the school place, around this entrance.
University entrance?
No, not the university entrance. This entrance here, basically. Yeah, through the south. Yeah. So there were people there and there were some standing around the building next to me in front. So I entered inside and I was trying to bathe. When they started pouring the water, we all got inside. They were being choked up inside. So we had to look for water to help ourselves with. And then later on, I went inside to bathe. My roommates were inside, my friends were inside. Then when I left the bathroom, I saw them running inside the bathroom. So I didn't really figure out what the problem was. But that was when I heard Casino Pot, and they just break in, and they saw me the way I was. And
the door was broken?
Yeah, the door was broken. And they saw me the way I was. So they talked for a while. And they talked for a while, and then later on they left. They were moving from rooms to rooms, and they were even asking if I was with somebody inside. So
media reports raised accusations of rape and cruel torture of female students as they protested on their campus in the University of Buea. The veracity of these accusations, however, could not be ascertained as at the time of this report. Market sellers, petty traders, and small business operators in the regions had their activities grounded by a series of ghost town operations, the impact of which has been grievous on these women, most of whom are breadwinners in their various homes.
Times are so hard. I used to sell 30 to 50 table birds in a day, but with the present situation in the country, I can be lucky to sell 4 to 10 table birds a day. With the shutdown of schools, students who used to buy foodstuffs are no longer buying. I used to supply schools and hotels with table birds, but now I no longer do so, as they have no customers. We want peace and stability. Our government officials have underlooked their citizens, hoping that the problem in our country will be solved. All mothers are on their knees, praying God for help.
This is one of the local markets in Buea, southwest region of Cameroon. The market today booms with life and a lot of activity. But barely a few months ago, it was practically impossible to find a soul in this market. It was grounded by ghost town operations. In the northwest regional capital, Bamenda, women were stripped naked, beaten, and sent home for daring to voice their objection to the overhaul of the economy through the ghost town operation. Girls of school-going age in Anglophone Cameroon have virtually been deprived of education since the start of the strike, and chances of having classes resume in September 2017 are still very slim, as no solution seems to have been provided to the problem yet. More than 100 persons have been arrested both in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon in connection to the current crisis. Some, according to media reports, were arrested in their bedrooms and student hostels, while others were simply picked up in the streets. The government of Cameroon has released some of those arrested in connection to the crisis, while others are yet to be released.
Love